Now, aesthetics is, as we measured it, was really the green space and what is developed around it. This is the second most important thing that drove people being in love with where they live, is if they liked the aesthetics there. And it really shouldn't be that surprising, because the aesthetics of a place is the first and most consistent message a place sends about itself. All day long. To visitors, to residents, to us, to people, new, who've lived there forever and think they've seen everything. Your brain is still taking in messages from your environment, either making you feel or making you feel. And so when we found that aesthetics mattered so much to people feeling connected to their place, it does feed into a lot of the things we talk about in attachment. Your sense of pride, your willingness to show it off to anybody, wanting to stay there, invite other people versus taking a plane every chance you get. And when you start thinking about it that way, you start to see the economic impact pretty quickly of these things that I think historically we saw as extra. Because goodness knows that this is one of the first things that goes when budgets get tight. And hard decisions have to be made. But what Sol came through and told leadership was, you can no longer redline these things in your budget without taking a hit. It's not extra. And you might still have to take a red line to it, but you can no longer live in the ignorance bubble that it doesn't matter, because it does. So when you talk about trails, parks, connectivity, making the trails work, making it better, having a district plan when you have waterfront, all of that stuff feeds in exactly to this idea. So don't let anybody tell you that it's extra, because it is your brand manifested. The other really cool thing about aesthetics is that it is probably the most powerful way you can honor your place narrative. Your aesthetics tell the story of this place. There's no New York City skyscrapers when we look out the window here. And when I go to Chicago, I don't see beautiful farmland like this, because part of the aesthetic is part of our narrative. So how well do we allow our aesthetics to tell the story of us? And when you can authentically market your aesthetics, this is the basis of your tourism. This is the basis for your local pride, because it is the first and most consistent message you send about your place every single day. And so figuring out how can we translate an authentic narrative of place through our aesthetics to tell a story puts you on the path to creating what you're trying to do here, which is raise that feeling of attachment and that feeling of belonging.